Country boy, I love you.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor and this is my husband Drew. And on this channel we talk about life and relationships after leaving the church, and we also do some commentary on the goings on in evangelical Christianity.
And sometimes we travel to Portland to see our friends and use their studio.
So clearly we're in a different space than we normally are in. We're visiting some friends. We're actually visiting Drew's editor, and this is his setup.
Yep.
So today we are going to be talking about what I'm calling Yeehaw Christians. And basically this video was inspired by our friend Cam. Cam.
Used loosely.
Co-host of this show, Campaign. If you guys remember, we've talked about him in like a couple of videos, but he's a influencer / model who's a Christian, and all of his content is about him trying to find a girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And he's been trying to find a girlfriend for like over 5 years. And in the comments of every single one of his posts, there are literally hundreds of people, women, commenting saying that they're available. And yet 5 years later, he's suspiciously still single.
It's almost like that's just the gimmick.
Yeah, it's almost like it's just for content. But through him, I found a bunch of other similar accounts from Christian influencers who kind of have this country thing going on. So today I wanted us to check out some of their content.
Yeehaw.
All right, so we'll start with Cam, since we're already familiar with him. And the first one we're going to look at is just to give you guys a little taste of what a lot of his content is like.
No.
I think I recorded some of the comments. So a lot of people like hearting it and stuff like that. A lot of women. Let's see. Someone said, "Unbearable, Cam. Way to be consistent." Yeah, so this is kind of a thing for a lot of these Yeehaw Christians, is that they'll be lip syncing to these like country songs, and like that's the entire reel, is them just like, I guess, in a nice outfit and then like kind of mumbling the words to a country song.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's not like that's bad content, it's just like kind of, they all do it, and it's like so much that it's very repetitive and kind of boring.
I mean, it's just really, really bad drag.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I mean, they're lip syncing, they're performing gender. And I mean, he's performing gender in the way that with his lip syncing, speaking as an ex-fundamentalist, the, masculine ideal is a guy that like is, nice, but doesn't express himself too much. And especially if you're doing something artistic, like singing a song even, you can't have too much emotion about it. So he smiles, but you can see he's like barely even actually moving. And it's a gendered performance. Whereas Christian women, of course, it can't be scandalous, but you can do like a lot more self-expression with that. You can be much more emotive. So it's drag, it's performance of gender and lip syncing, but it just sucks.
That is an interesting point, because I think he is a little bit more subdued in his facial expressions, specifically when he's singing along to these country songs. But I would say overall, he is very expressive in a lot of his reels, like to the point where it's like very artificial and forced. Like he's overly happy, which like I'm not going to rag on somebody for expressing happiness, but the way he does it, you can obviously tell that it's very much just for the camera and just for like content, and like it's like, okay, nobody like laughs that much, like nothing is that funny,
as I'm sure we'll see coming up.
So let's check out some of the other stuff. "I'm so hungry I could actually eat a tall, Jesus-loving, kind-hearted, dating to marry type of woman."
Does he not realize? I mean, well, no. I'm not going to say he doesn't realize there's a sexual undertone there or overtone.
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't realize that. I mean, considering that he hasn't had a girlfriend in like 5 years, as far as I understand, and he's, waiting for marriage You know, he thinks premarital sex is a sin.
Yeah.
So like maybe he genuinely doesn't understand like how that sounds.
I don't know.
You know?
I don't know. I mean, obviously the whole thing is fake. Let's look at the comments. Because, yeah, if you look at the comments, he's in there like, oh, if anyone knows anyone, then let me know. Bonus points if she's older than me. And there's like, he's like following this up in the comments as if he's genuinely asking.
Yeah.
But we know he's not really asking
like,
for this.
Literally, he posts something like this at least once a week.
Yeah.
And there's always, I mean, this has 27 replies to it. You know that there's women who are saying, I'm available.
Yeah.
And yet, the week after, he's going to post the exact same thing as if this never happened.
Yeah. So if he's feigning that he is not trying to say something sexual, like I don't believe it. Like I think that it's more likely he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, that's fair. Somebody said performative man final boss. That's definitely accurate. Rage bait. Aw, sorry, starve.
People are definitely on to this guy. It's pretty clear from the comments.
Yeah. For sure. Before we continue, allow me a brief moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, Aura. So you guys know that recently I decided to Google search my name, and I was absolutely shocked to find much of my personal data listed on random websites. These websites had information on my past addresses, people I'm related to, places I used to work, and even my professional licenses that I've obtained. As someone who's super careful about what I put out there about myself online, especially given the type of content I produce, I was pretty freaked out knowing this info was so easily accessible through a quick Google search. I'm also constantly finding that my email inbox is flooded with spam and promotional emails, even from companies I've never given my email address to. Like you guys know, this is really, really embarrassing, but I do have over 40,000 unread emails in my inbox, and most of them are just spam from random websites. I'm sure that I'm not the only one who has an overflowing inbox like this. At least I hope I'm not. This is such a common experience because these companies called data brokers sell your personal information, like your email address and your phone number, to other companies and marketers. And what's really messed up is that these data brokers don't need your consent to do this, and they'll even sell your info to scammers and stalkers. You can request that they remove your info, but they often make this process so confusing and tedious that it's almost impossible. And this is where Aura comes in. Aura does the hard work for you by automatically removing your info from these websites, and they'll keep it off for good. They also have a ton of other features included in your sign up. If they find your phone number, email, or social security number on the dark web, they'll send you an alert immediately. They'll let you know fast if anyone tries to use this information to access your credit or bank accounts. And they provide you with $5 million in identity theft insurance should the worst happen. They also have a bunch of other features like VPN services and antivirus software that keep you safe online, all inside one app. This is so much better than dealing with all of this on your own or by using separate software or systems. And here's the best part. You can go to my link, aura.com/antibot, to try out Aura for free for 14 days. That's more than enough time for Aura to find out if your data is exposed. I hated finding out my info was floating around out there for anyone to use. I do not want to be vulnerable to future data breaches, and if you don't want to be either, you can go to aura.com/antibot to try them out for 2 weeks free of charge. Thank you so much, Aura. Now back to the video. Oh, okay. This one is him not begging for a girlfriend online, but it's kind of adjacent to that, and you'll see.
You really are my favorite woman in the world. You are so beautiful. You are so kind. You are so gentle. You are so loving. You have the biggest heart, not only for your family, but for every single person. You've been there for me, Mom, in every season, every moment, every smile, and every tear. You have been my champion since day one. From all the home-cooked meals, to the times that we bake together, to the times that we trade back scratches on the couch, to the times that we spend hours on the phone just talking about life. There's not a single minute that I would trade for the world. You have shown me how to love and given me an example of what true love looks like, not only by the way you love Dad, but in the way that you love like Jesus every single day. You've always put others before yourself. You've always made sure that we were taken care of well before you thought about you. And Mom, I am so proud of how you fought for yourself, for your family, and you have always been strong, even when it wasn't easy. You've been the best mom I could ever ask for in the entire world. I would choose you to be my mom 10 times over and again in heaven one day. You'll always be my mom, and I'll always be your mama's boy. You deserve the world, but the best I can do for now is some new pants for you. I hope you love them half as much as I love you. Happy Valentine's Day, Mom. I will always love you.
Okay, I have so many thoughts about this one.
First of all, was this sponsored? Was this a sponsored thing?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Why?
I was just wondering because the branding was so prominent. I didn't know. Okay, it was just the box.
Yeah,
Okay.
as far as I know, it wasn't sponsored. Maybe it was. I want to preface this by saying there's absolutely nothing wrong with loving your mom as a son. I don't think that is an issue or something that should be criticized.
Yeah.
I do think that the performative nature of it, and it's so fucking corny is the thing. Like, it's so corny. It's so overdone. And also it's like, can you not just give your mom a present without filming it? Because you notice, like, he goes to the gas station. He would have had to, like, prop his phone up somewhere, have a tripod out, filming him filling up his truck. And then he obviously had one of his parents, or like had his dad film him knocking on the door. Like, it's all just like, this is so staged and artificial. It's like, it kind of takes away from the idea that, like, you genuinely love your mom, because it's like, do you, or do you love making content? Also, the biggest atrocity of this entire video is the fact that, yes, it's like, if you don't have enough wrapping paper to wrap the whole box, fucking don't wrap the box with wrapping paper. Just leave it off. Like,
Yeah.
why? And also, gifting your mom pots and pans. I feel like maybe it's not as bad as, like, gifting your wife pots and pans for Valentine's Day, but I think it's still similarly questionable, because it's like you're gifting her something that she can, like, perform labor with.
It's funny because my mom, like, told me when I was about 17, she's like, okay, you're old enough to hear this. And I thought she was going to say something awkward. And then she's like, never gift your girlfriend, your fiance, your wife, or your mom anything to, she didn't use the words perform labor, but basically never pots and pans, never cleaning supplies,
Yeah,
never
vacuum,
aprons,
yeah.
never vacuum, never any of that. It should be something that she is supposed to enjoy, like,
Yeah.
recreationally. And so, yeah, I'm right there with you on that one.
Yeah.
Because my mom let me know about that
I mean,
one.
I feel like that's really good advice
Yeah.
from your mom.
Yeah.
I mean, if his mom actually asked for that for Valentine's Day, okay, maybe that's okay, but, like, give her flowers, give her something else that isn't just something that she can perform domestic duties with, you know?
The thing that made me cringe about this, really more than anything else, was just the tone of voice, especially when he gets to saying, like, that you love like Jesus. I mean, a lot of us that have, watched this channel or run this channel have been in worship services where they're speaking into the mic like this, and then they say something about Jesus, and they have to, like, strain their voice in this, like, sappy but almost, like, sexual kind of sound. And yeah, that's what he's doing. So he's like, you taught me how to love, but most of all, you love like Jesus. And it's just like,
it's like, clearly you're not actually crying.
Right. I hate the fake cry
Yeah.
stuff. It does not work for me.
Yeah, I don't like that either. It's just, keep that out of it. It was too long, too corny, like, too performative.
Yeah.
Oh, have you ever been called crazy because you're a Christian? Yeah,
No.
Me too. I wrote the song about it. It's called Call Me Crazy. Oh, da, 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 da. They said, there you go, talking to the sky again. Praying out loud like it's your medicine. You're singing to a God that you've never seen. Yeah, you look like a fool to believe they try to shut me up, but I ain't listening, nah. Cause this world may think I'm crazy, but good thing I don't care. Cause I know with all my heart I'm not talking to the air. They've said I'm different, said I'm strange. Before the cross I'll wear those names. I'm alive because of his amazing grace. So call me crazy anyways. Oh, call me crazy anyways. Da-da-da-da-da. Call me crazy, anyways.
Girl, nobody's calling you crazy
I
for
know.
being a Christian. Like, come on. And you live in a country that is predominantly Christian. On average, most people are Christian. Nobody, like, looks weird.
Christianity is the largest religion in the world by a lot.
Yeah, like, nobody's judging you for being a Christian. Like,
Yeah.
chill.
Like, you know, if she gets on and sings about, like, I'm a Christian, I love God, I'm like, okay, that's fine. I wouldn't be cringing at
Yeah.
that, and I wouldn't even want to include that in, like, the video. We wouldn't comment on
Yeah.
that. There's nothing to say. That's not, like, a bad thing. But getting on and being like, I'm persecuted because I'm Christian, and, like, pretending that this thing has happened, that's what's actually cringe.
I mean, and I would, if I ever got to, like, speak to this woman, I'd ask her, have you ever actually been told by someone that you're crazy for being a Christian? Or have you heard other Christians talking about how the world says that you're crazy for being a Christian?
Or have you read comments under a TikTok that
Yeah,
say something?
yeah. I
Because there's,
mean-
like, shade for literally every type of person in internet comments,
Yeah.
and we personally don't say that stuff counts. Like, when people say really bad stuff to us online, it does not count the same way as in real life at all.
Yeah. Online's very, very different than real life because you're getting people from all over the place, all different backgrounds. So, like, odds are someone's going to say something that's not nice
Yeah.
to you. And I mean, that's not nice. That's not comfortable to have negative comments or people calling you crazy. Is that evidence of Christian persecution in the United States? No.
And
it's
I
not.
mean, the narrative of Christian persecution in the United States specifically is used to manufacture consent for fascism right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I've done a whole video about the Task Force for Eliminating Anti-Christian Bias. And if you look at the outcomes of that action that's been taken by that task force, some of the largest instances of fraud by a university in all of American history have taken place recently by, like, Grand Canyon University and Liberty, and they're basically just completely getting away with it, like not paying millions in fines, not, like, having people actually potentially go to prison for, like, covering up sexual abuse. Yeah, that's what this narrative ultimately does. It allows fascists to let their friends get off for doing bad things.
Exactly. Like, someone calling you crazy for being a Christian online is not the same thing as your rights as an LGBT person being actively taken away. And, like, what they're trying to do with trans folks, I don't know if this is, like, nationwide or just in Texas, but they're trying to make it illegal if you're trans to own or purchase a weapon.
Yeah.
And, like, that is persecution.
Yeah.
That is, like, real discrimination. So someone leaving a comment saying that you're crazy is not, it's not fun. I'm not going to say it's fun. And I don't think it's not warranted if you're just a Christian online who isn't harming anybody with your rhetoric and you're just like, yeah, I believe in God. I don't think that people should be commenting that you're crazy because I don't think that you are crazy for having religious belief. So I'm not saying it's fun, but it's not persecution.
Yeah.
And one more thing on this one, when she says, you know, there you are talking to the sky again, I kind of see what she's getting at with that a little bit because I have seen atheists or secular folks refer to believing in God as, like, believing in some sort of, like, sky daddy. That's what they refer to it as though you're, like, shouting up to the sky and there's, like, nothing up there. And it's like, that's not, no, like, that's not an accurate portrayal of religious belief. Like, that's a caricature.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't like that.
That
you know?
in itself is kind of cringe.
Yeah. And again, that's not persecution, but it is just, like, cringy.
Yeah.
So he says, 6'7", loves Jesus, hardworking, waiting till marriage, born again Christian, dates to marry, don't party, belt worship in my Suburban, don't fit in this generation.
I like that he has to include that he's 6'7".
So kind of the idea, I think, here with this is that, you know, he's 6'7", he's hardworking, he meets all of the qualifications.
He's perfect in every way.
He's very eligible.
Yeah.
But yet he's a Christian. And so that, in the eyes of a lot of women, knocks points off of him because he's waiting to marry and he doesn't fit in with this generation. And it's just like, Christianity is the dominant religion in the United States.
Yeah.
Odds are there are more Christian women out there than there are non-Christian women in the US. So what do you mean that like just being a Christian makes you like ineligible for dating in the eyes of a lot of women? Because that's just like not true. And again, this is just fabricated persecution. Like you want to be a victim and it's like nothing's happening to you.
Like it's really funny to see kind of like this version of complaining about, oh, I don't fit in, I'm not popular, like generally people don't like me, there aren't enough people out there for me, I can't find my special someone. Something about like social isolation being the theme there.
Yeah.
And then these TikToks like have tons of views and likes.
Yeah, I mean, this
it's
has
like
46,000 likes, so...
Pretty clear your people are not only out there, but you have found them.
Yeah.
And then you're going on and complaining about that you haven't. Like, I'm sorry, I can see with my own eyes that that's just not true.
Yeah. He said something that I, like, didn't understand. Belt worship in my Suburban. What does that mean?
That means that he worships belt buckles. No, it means that he loudly sings worship music in his Suburban.
Oh, he belts worship in his Suburban.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it means like having a bunch of religious iconography on your belt buckles as a sacrament.
I was thinking like the Bible Belt. That's where my mind went. So I'm like, is he saying that he lives in the Bible Belt? And like he also worships in his car? Like what? Okay, but that makes a lot more sense.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's definitely the worst one, in my opinion.
Just so you guys know, there is some country music playing, but I'm going to have to change it with like royalty-free country music and editing. But yeah, just so you guys know, please don't forget what this country was built on. One nation under God.
And then even though the original music isn't in here, it does say something about being baptized in holy water in the song that she's singing, which is like, okay, yeah, if you hold on to the idea that we were like founded as a Christian nation, that's an exclusively like conservative Protestant idea that does not include ideas of like holy water being a thing. That's a Catholic thing.
Yeah.
And the early Christians that were in the United States actually were seriously discriminatory against Catholics.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have a Catholic president until the 60s. And even then, people were super suspicious of Kennedy for being Catholic because they thought his ultimate loyalty would be to the Pope. Like, it's only in the last, like, 70 years that Catholics were considered to even be, like, Christians in the United States at all. So it's really funny to me that she's just, like, erasing the actual history of Christianity in the United States in order to say that we've always been Christian in the United States in the way that she views Christianity.
Yeah. And a lot of Protestants in the U.S. still view Catholics as not only heretical, but like demonic.
Yeah.
Like they're not real Christians. Like they think that they're going to hell.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't brought up that way, and my family actually even worked for a Catholic mission for a few years. But it was a very common belief in the type of community that I was in that Catholics are not real Christians and that they're going to hell. And I'm pretty sure that's what your family thought.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. No, I was raised with that, and I, today don't believe in the afterlife generally, and I don't believe that Catholics aren't Christians, but I do believe that Catholic J.D. Vance is going to hell.
Yeah, well, that's for different reasons.
Yeah.
Not because he's Catholic, but because he's a ghoul. Also, this is interesting because it says, what our country was built on, one nation under God, and I believe this is kind of like a reference to the Pledge of Allegiance when it says one nation under God. That was added in the 1950s.
Yeah.
That was not originally in the pledge. That has nothing to do with the founding of this nation.
Yeah.
That was added in during like the Red Scare because at the time, well, even now, they wanted the U.S. to have this image of being like pious to contrast with like the communists of Russia.
Right.
So like no, that this is just not accurate history whatsoever.
And what's really funny is that specific slogan, Under God, actually started with a movement called, well, I say a movement, a branding choice and project that was all led by basically the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and specifically the owner of a company called Sun Oil. But yeah, spiritual mobilization popularized this idea of one nation under God. They funded a bunch of ministers to basically say that Christianity and libertarian capitalism went together, and they were trying to rid the U.S. of New Deal policies that, you know, protected like labor rights and paid people fairly. So the reason why we end up having one nation under God like on a bunch of our stuff is because a bunch of oil barons, literal oil barons, got together and funded certain preachers who would say what they wanted them to say. That's why we have that. So again, if you want to know history, then I don't think that this is reflecting that particularly well. I don't think she's saying yeehaw for oil, but effectively you end up saying yeehaw for oil
without realizing it.
You're right, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the Pledge of Allegiance, I don't think that that should even be a thing. I don't think that children in schools should be forced to say a pledge to a specific country that they had no choice in being born in. Like, why are you having to like pledge your whole being and like body and spirit to the state? Like, that's just like really weird.
Yeah, why should anybody pledge allegiance to the state?
Yeah, but especially children.
Yeah.
Because it's like they don't have the ability to really understand what that even is.
Yeah.
Like, growing up, I mean, I started going to a missionary school when I was like 11 or 12, and then we didn't say the Pledge of Allegiance because we weren't in the United States. But like growing up in elementary school, I remember saying the pledge, and I didn't really understand what it was or what even the words necessarily meant. It was just something that we did in the mornings before class started. But yeah, I agree. I don't think that anybody should really have to do that, but like especially not children.
Yeah. Okay, final thought here. The top text is, please don't forget what this country was built on. This country was built on some of the worst genocide that has ever happened in all of world history. And
Genocide and slavery.
Genocide and slavery, which, by the way, is still going on today. It has not stopped. It's just been kind of rebranded.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I don't forget what this country was built on, and that's why I don't think that this state as it is should exist.
Yeah, that's why we want to build something better in the future, because we realize that what this country is built on and what it continues to do is horrific.
Yeah.
If you want her to be loyal, caring, respectful, feminine, ask yourself, have you become a man worth those qualities? She's the mirror of you. So you have to lead with humility, rooted in faith. Love like Jesus and put your partner's needs before your own. Respect and honor her. Treat her as a daughter of God. Serve the Lord and serve her with love, not obligation. There's a bit in here that I somewhat agree with. I do think that if you're somebody that's looking for a partner or dating or, you know, looking to marry, it is a good idea to do some self-work and self-reflection and try to be the best human being that you can possibly be before you start dating, because I think it's just really, really important to have like self-confidence and like awareness of yourself before you like put yourself out to like look for a potential partner or partners. But when he says like, if you want to have a woman who's like feminine specifically, that means that you need to do what you need to do as a man
to become worthy of her femininity.
Yeah, and also like she's a mirror of you. Yeah. I can't help but feel like the emphasis here is really on like her. It almost sounds like she doesn't exist as like her own being. It's more like she is simply a reflection of you as the man, and like all of the pressure and responsibility is solely on you as a man to like build your family life. And I just feel like that's not only does that take away from the woman in the situation, it kind of strips her of her autonomy and own I don't know what the word is.
Agency?
Yeah, agency. But then also it's like really unfair for you as a man to have that much responsibility. Like it's solely on you to like lead things in a certain direction. And it's like there's part of this that I'm like, yeah, I kind of like follow what you're saying and I don't think it's a bad idea, but then you start getting into like some weird stuff that I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
I think the thing that ultimately sticks out to me here the most, besides for the leadership thing, which is weird that we don't subscribe to, is the being a man worthy of her femininity. Is femininity a gift that is given to the man? Is it a service performed for the man? Because I mean, when he says like, be a man worthy of her respect, I get that. Mm-hmm. Like it's a choice that she's making that has to do with her relationship with you. But her femininity, become a man worthy of her having some kind of either inherent quality or doing a performance of gender. Either way, like you want to look at that. What does that mean? How do you that seems totally like incoherent. Or am I as a man a possessor of that quality because it exists in you, a woman, a thing that I possess? Is that what that means?
Is about possession for sure. I think especially with like him saying she's a mirror of you. Like she only exists as a reflection of you. Yeah. This reminds me a lot of, remember when we responded to the like feminine dating coaches on TikTok? They really subscribe to this idea that there's this dichotomy in the world. Everything exists in either like on a spectrum of femininity to masculinity. They believe that every person carries both traits, but when you're in a romantic relationship, the proper like equilibrium is for the man to come into his masculine and for the woman to come into her feminine. And the only way for a woman to truly come into her own femininity is for her partner to have these masculine traits of like leadership and hard work and like those kind of things. And like this reminds me a lot of that, where it's like I feel like there's kind of a little bit of woo-woo going into this, like thinking that if I just exhibit certain traits in some magical transcendent way, that is going to cause my partner to also like to exhibit like the opposite traits. It's like a very like magical thinking. Get ready with me to go to a Turning Point event in California.
Oh, imagine bragging about that. Like, imagine being like, hey guys, I'm going to a Hitler Youth event. It's going to be awesome.
Isn't that great?
Look at the fit for the Hitler Youth event where we like Hitler.
Obviously, this was filmed before Charlie Kirk left this world.
Mm-hmm. Stop being racist, as I like to say.
Something that stood out to me about this reel is that the song playing, which of course I'm going to have to end up changing, is Mr. Red, White, and Blue by Coffee Anderson.
Oh, God, is that what it is?
Yes.
No.
Okay, I don't know if we've talked about this on this channel. I think we talked about it on your channel.
Yeah, my channel, yeah.
Coffee Anderson is a Christian artist who, and now he does country music, but he's been around for like a long, long time, like over a decade. And he used to do more like Christian pop, I guess, or like CCM kind of stuff. Yeah. He became really well known because he did a Christian version of Umbrella by Rihanna. Mm-hmm. And when Drew and I were at college, because we went to a Christian college in Texas, Coffee Anderson came and performed at one of our chapels, and it was so weird. Like I think he like sang some of his songs, and then he like spoke for a little bit, and he talked about how his biggest challenge in life was climbing out of the middle class. All right, was it out of the middle class or upper middle class?
He's like breaking out of the middle class. Yeah, that's what he said.
That is your biggest challenge in life?
Yeah.
is breaking out of the middle class.
Yeah.
That is a level of privilege that most people do not understand in this
Right,
country.
right. Yeah, no, it was, and then he ended up making a bunch of like bulimia jokes and
Yeah.
like just making fun of like specifically women with eating disorders, and was like, you know, like miming like a bunch of behaviors that go into that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just ended up being, even as like Christians who were in conservative land at the time, we were like, this dude kind of sucks, doesn't
Yeah,
he? Like by the end of it.
Yeah, we're like, this guy's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But recently he has had this pivot to country music, and his big popular song is Mr. Red, White, and Blue.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of his music nowadays, I swear, was written by ChatGPT.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's so bad. It's so basic and like cringy.
Yeah.
I'm like, you had to have had like an AI write this because it's that bad.
Yeah.
And I ended up, just because like I wanted to troll him and be, I don't know, I just wanted to troll him. I ended up commenting on a couple of his Instagram posts saying that. And then he like went to my Instagram page and like started like replying and like was basically insulting me and calling me fat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, wow, that is so Christian of you.
Yeah.
Like, all I did was critique your like artistry. You come over to my page and like personally insult me. Like,
Yeah.
those are two very different things. And also it just shows like, aren't you supposed to be like this really well-known Christian artist and you're here beefing with some random person on Instagram? Like, that's really insecure and weird.
Well, I mean, he's singing this patriotic song that include the lyrics, his 18th birthday was the day he was born, as in like the day he really became like his own identity. He really came into his own, became a worthwhile person, was when he was able to get into the US military and go be armed and go
Yeah.
kill people for the sake of, you know, US imperialism. So it's like, yeah, actually calling a person fat is probably even less bad than being like, we should celebrate young men throwing their lives away to be, you know, meat for the grinder, Starship Trooper style for
Yeah.
the US.
All right, so I have another one from this guy. It says, God, family, country, in that order, Charlie Kirk. This guy loved Charlie Kirk. I also want to point out that his like description of this is, I may lose some followers over this.
With 100,000 likes. Yeah,
Like,
you're
what
very
are you
persecuted.
talking about? Like, how social media works is that you cultivate a following that's already like people that are going to follow you are following you because they relate to or enjoy your type of content. So like, clearly Christians are following you. Why would Christians unfollow you because you say God, family, country in that order? That makes no sense.
Yeah. No, I mean, I said this recently on my channel, the whole posture of Turning Point is victimhood mentality. You know, like the whole thing that happened at OU, you know, in Oklahoma, where the Turning Point chapter basically purposely targeted a teacher to get her fired,
Yeah.
which she did end up getting fired. That whole thing was, they had someone purposely write a really shitty paper that they knew was going to like get a bad grade. And then when the teacher is like, hey, this doesn't like fit it doesn't fulfill like the assignment, then they're like, we are so persecuted because there is this mentally ill transgender teacher here, and like this is happening all across the entire country. Charlie Kirk also like started with the social media marketing and like the brand identity for Turning Point, you know, in the 2010s by saying, on campus, conservatives have nowhere to go. Conservatives like can't speak their mind. Conservatives get kicked out of class. They get bad grades. They're scolded by teachers, all because we like care about, you know, like God, family, and country. So I'm building Turning Point USA in order to give conservatives a place where we can actually fight for our right to exist. You know, that it's always been the brand of Turning Point USA that we are persecuted. And now they have basically Turning Point USA, the president, right now.
Yeah.
They have Stephen Miller as chief of staff. Like,
They're trying to put Turning Point USA chapters in every single school in
and
Texas.
in
and
Texas,
public schools.
that is backed by the actual government of the state of Texas. And yet they still say we're so persecuted. Like, it's Darvo.
Yeah.
It's deny, attack, reverse victim and offender, which is what abusers regularly do. They attack you, and then they say that when you call them out for that, you are attacking them, which then justifies them abusing you even more because they're a victim, so they get to act with a little bit more oomph than even before.
Yeah. Also, just to talk about the aesthetics of this reel, this seems to be such a common thing with these like Yeehaw Christian creators, is that like all of their content is like the lowest effort thing I've ever seen. Like all they do is like mumble the lyrics to a song while they're getting ready and like stare at themselves in the mirror. Like what the fuck? Like this is, to me, this is like you're saying that God, family, and country, those are the most important things to you. But then what you're showing me in your reel seems to show that really what you care about is yourself, because you're not showing your family in this reel.
Yeah.
You're not showing yourself praying or reading the Bible. You're staring at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah. I call this a plausible deniability thirst trap.
Oh, that is so what it is. That is so what it is. And like we see that so commonly. Like Cam is very, very much guilty of doing this, where it's like obvious, like you're changing your shirt and like flexing. In that one reel we saw of him, he's obviously flexing.
Yeah.
But then he's like, oh, this is just about God. It's
Yeah.
like, no, it's not. You want to be able to thirst trap on the internet, which there's not really a problem. You're not hurting anybody necessarily by doing that. People might think it's cringy, but like it's not the worst thing in the world. But then you're saying that it's not really about that. This is about God. It's like, okay, come on.
Yeah, I mean, again, doesn't that go back to, like, that's kind of what Turning Point does. It's just that their goal is not to post a thirst trap. Their goal is to control the country.
Yeah.
And control the bodies of all of the people they don't like, or eliminate all of the people that they don't like.
Yeah.
And they just say that it's about God, family, and country. And it's like, no, it's about power. That's what you really
it's about
worship.
power and money. It's Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
Like this is Gilead. They claim that it's all about God and just instituting Christian values, putting Christian values back into the US. But really, it's like once they get that power and control, it's just going to be about possessing women and children mostly. And yet they're the ones that are like always preaching purity and modesty. And it's like, okay, is there anything pure or modest about Donald Trump and the many marriages and affairs and victims and the fucking Epstein files? Like, is there anything pure or modest about the way he's conducted his life? No.
Is there anything pure and modest about wanting the power to control what other people can do with their own bodies? That's not pure, and that's not modest. Like it's the least humble thing you can possibly do to think that you deserve control over everybody else.
Yep.
Imagine bragging going to a Turning Point. Hey guys, I'm going to a big dumb guy convention.
Dressing however I want because my truck is the fit.
Is this a Christian one?
This is the same guy. Oh wait, no, it's not. Yeah, he is a Christian. His content isn't as Christian focused as these other guys, but he is a Christian.
Okay.
Yeah. He's friends. How I found a lot of these guys is through Cam. They all like follow each other.
Interesting. Okay, because this has an F-bomb in it.
Yeah. This guy, I'm pretty sure, is like really good friends with the guy we just watched because they're always like in each other's stuff.
Okay. Cool.
But it's just like,
where's the God? Where's the family? Where's the country?
Yeah. And clearly this isn't about dressing however you want to. This is about you want to be shirtless, dragging your truck and showing how like muscular and powerful you are. That's like all this is about.
I mean, at least this is like less, this is not a plausible deniability thirst trap. It's an obvious, overt, purposeful thirst trap. And I don't think he would deny that. It just is funny that he's like in network with the plausible deniability thirst trap guys, kind of as if the plausible deniability thirst trap people are just thirst trappers exactly like this. They're just, covering it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jesus once rode a donkey into Jerusalem, allegedly. Does this qualify Jesus as a cowboy?
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, sure, why not?
If you ride a horse or a donkey at any moment in your life, even once, then you get a little bit of cowboy cred. Or is that what we're going for? Are we going that easy on them?
And why not? I mean, I think that they really want to see Jesus as a cowboy. I mean, this is John Wayne Christianity.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, no, it is. What do we think about, now that we actually watched all this, what do we think about kind of the premise that I laid out earlier, that this actually is just really, really boring and cringy drag? Gender performance for certain types of Christian men.
See, I see where you're going with that, and I don't think that your logic is flawed. I just personally don't want to drag, I don't want to connect drag to these people.
It's insulting.
It's insulting to drag.
Yeah.
To drag artists. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And I do think that there's a lot more artistry and effort that goes into actual drag than there does with this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is very, very low effort.
So are we content in just saying that, well, I mean, whatever it is, it sucks.
It sucks. It's corny.
Yeah.
It's corny.
Okay, yeah, corny.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and a huge thank you to my patrons who help make these videos possible. If you like this video, please be sure to subscribe and ring the bell. If you'd like to follow me on social media, my Instagram is Taylor_the_Antibot. And if you'd like to consider supporting this channel financially, a link to my Patreon will be down in the description, and we'll see you on the next one.
We don't
Bye.
have